crafty friends, this is Michael with ePapery. So today I want to work on the pages and signatures that I'm going to put in my grungy journal. So I started, here are some pages that I had printed off. Now I cannot remember the digital creators for this. I will try and look that up and put it underneath in the description box. But what I want to do today, since I don't want to go back through and reprint on the back side, what I'm going to do is try and do some jelly printing, grungy kind of things to put on the back of these. I did do some experimenting with this on just plain papers that I was going to put in. And so I'll go through some of those so you can see what I did. These are the ones that I did on just, plain papers. And I'm trying to make them look a little grungy, and I, don't know if I'm doing well or not. But anyway, here's what I had done. I put some washi tape on. I've done some tearing. Here was a page out of a plant book that I did some jelly printing on and tore a hole in it. This is some tracing paper that I did some stuff on and just ripped that a little bit. This one, notepad paper that I did some. This one I really did some grungy stuff on here. This is a music page that I, just had torn a little bit. Here's another one of those really grungy ones. This one was a notebook paper, and then I used a punch that I have to punch in some holes. Here's another tracing paper one that I had done. This one has a little bit of stenciling on it. This is another piece of paper that I just tore a hole in it. And this is another one where I just did some grunge things on it, and the same with this one here. This is a couple of pages out of a shorthand book that I jelly printed on, and then I put some washi tape on it to make it so it would fit in both. This is one that I had printed off, and then I took an extra piece of paper that I had and glued it there and kind of grunged that up. This one I need to do something on the back of. So that's kind of where I'm headed. I'm not the best jelly printer out there, but I think I can maybe do some grunge. We'll see. I just took my ink re-inkers is kind of how I was doing this, if I can get them open. And I just took and I dropped little drops on there. Picked a couple of colors. Now this one happens to be alcohol ink, which I do have some alcohol in a spray bottle too, so I'm going to see if I can't. Well, maybe I can't get this one to work. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to spray this a little bit with some alcohol. I'm going to take my little Tim Holtz blower thing here. Just kind of blow it out a little bit. The other thing that I did was, let's see, this one is bundled sage. Now I'm going to add a little water to this. And then I would just, you know, kind of roll out this a little bit. See what it does. And so I'm going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to put it on the gel plate. Oops. Now if I wanted to add some more, I could kind of clean off my brayer here. So here we have this. Now this is kind of just really not very grungy. So then what I did do also is I would take, here's some vintage photo, and I would just stick it over there, spray some water on it. Anyway, just stuck it a little on the corner here and sprayed some water with it. You know, just kind of sprayed it out here, spread it out here a little bit, and then I'm just going to roll this on. Now, you know, it might get a little darker than what I want, which it is, so then just try not to put quite so much on your brayer. I'm just trying to get some of the white edges here. The other thing that you can do is you can take your inks and brayer over the top of your inks. Here's Shabby Shutters. Let's just try that and see. I'm just going to put that here, brayer some ink on there, and then just, like I said, brayer it on the paper. So I'm just gonna continue to do this until I have what I think is, I don't know, a grungy looking piece of paper. Which who knows? And if you get some ink on your plate, then you can just try and pull it up off your plate. The other thing that you can do, oops, I shouldn't have put that there because I'm going to put holes in my gel plate. That's the last thing I want to do. There's a little bit more brown ink there. I can kind of smooth off like that. After you've done that, you can also take some stencil, and I'm just going to take like a black and a little dauber and rub it on there. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. And just, you know, put some spots on it somewhere that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just probably shaking you here as I do this. And you can, you know, add as many different patterns as you want to on this piece of paper with stencils, you know, whatever you think you might like. There's one, a little weird. There. Okay, so there's one. I'm just going to leave that like that for now, and I'm going to lay it aside to dry, and then we'll see what we can do with the different one. Oh, I have this one now. Let's see. This is vintage photo. Ooh, squirted all over. Spray it with just a tiny bit of water, and then I'm just gonna, like I said, just brayer this out a little bit. You can see it just, kind of beads up, which makes kind of cool things on the plate. So, and I'm just gonna stick this down. This plate isn't that big, so I'm gonna have portions all the way around. And you can see how it's making the printed side, because I don't have a laser printer, I have a inkjet printer. It's kind of causing the inks to just kind of bleed a little bit, which is fine. So this is what I have with that. Now I think what I'm going to do is take a little bit of a different color here. Let's see what I can come up with. Okay, I still have some ink left on my brayer here, so I'm going to kind of try and brayer the edges a little bit. I could also, I can see I still have some ink on my plate, so I can go back in and kind of mix it around again, and then lay it down to try and cover up those edges that didn't get. And I'm not concerned about whether my paper wrinkles or not, because this is a, it is a grunge journal, so it doesn't matter. There. Okay, so let's try the black again and see how that will work. Okay, there's some really neat kind of things on this stencil that I kind of like, that are, like grungy things. Well, that didn't really. I think the stencil is so such tiny little cutouts that it doesn't want to, unless you really get in there deeply to get it. Let's see. Well, that one worked a little bit, but so anyway, you can kind of do that a little bit with your stencils and see what you can come up with here. I think it's going to depend upon how big the spaces are in your stencil. So that one you could see a little bit, but you could play around forever with this stuff, which is what's so fun. But let's do this one here on this side. There you go. you know, just kind of. So there you go. And like I said, if you wanted to, you could just take your dauber and daub. If you think there's some spaces that are too white, you can just fill them in with your dauber if you want. So that is what I'm doing. So, you know, there you go. You might not want it too dark because you may want to write on some of these. So I'm going to put that one down to dry. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, there's this one. That's pretty light. And it has a little bit of red in it. You can also just take your ink pad and do this on your plate. And then spray it a little bit with some water. Roll it out a little bit. Now it's going to reactivate some of that other color that I had on there also. So who knows what we're going to get. So let's just lay this down and see what happens. And as I said, it's wet enough that it's coming through and it's disturbing the ink that's on the print, which is fine because this is supposed to be a grungy journal, right? So that didn't do a whole lot of anything there. So I think what I'm going to do is add some more colors. What do I want to add? Well, since there's red on the other side, let's just add some red here. This is alcohol ink. Okay. And here's a little bit of alcohol to spread that out a little bit. I have a trigger finger going on in my right hand, so that makes it difficult for me to squeeze this thing with my right hand. And alcohol ink dries pretty rapidly, so I'm going to spray it just a little bit more again with some alcohol, and I'm going to set that down there again and see if I can pick up a little bit of that red. Yep, I'm picking it up all right because it's coming through onto the other side, which is, like I said, fine. So there, I have a little bit of red on there. So now what I think I'm going to do is try and put a little bit of scattered straw in here. Okay. Spray a little bit of water, a little bit of alcohol, because I want that alcohol ink to reactivate a little bit too. So I'm just kind of now this is pretty wet, so I want to roll some of that off. And I'm just gonna lightly put that on there, because I don't want my paper to get too saturated and rip it. Okay, now I still have some ink on my brayer here, so I'm just going to brayer a little bit off of that. Whoa. Try and get some of these spaces where the, where the edges are here, and see if I can get a little bit more ink on that. I'm just going to take a little bit of the vintage photo there. Whoa. And just, oh, that was too much. But you know what? It doesn't make any difference, because, like I said, this is just grunge. You don't need to have it perfect. So there we go. Now when that dries, I might go back and do a little bit more stenciling or something on there. Because I got that dark spot over there, I want to put a few more other dark spots on here. All right. So there's that one. What else we got here? Okay. Well, this one's got a little bit of bluish and red in it. So I think I had a blue over here. Well, this is weathered wood. So let's do weathered wood. We're just gonna put some water on this. Mix it around. There's still a little bit of the vintage photo and the red and whatnot on there. Although the red I don't think is gonna come off. Just gonna put this down. As you can see, it's quite wet. So if you don't want the ink on your printed paper to bleed, then don't use as much water when you're trying to... Oh, some of the red did come off. Not a lot. Some of it did. The weathered wood is a darker blue than what I really wanted, so I'm going to take some stormy sky here and just kind of put that in there and see if that I don't want to put too much water on. And maybe just a spray of the alcohol to help kind of lift up a little bit of the red. All right, let's see here. It's not really lifting up a whole lot of the red, but Let's see if I can get some more of this red to move around here a little bit. Yeah, that's a little, now I probably got too much. So let's just pick it up here and there and see what happens. Oh, yeah, that works. And there. So now we have a little bit more red. Let's, okay. Put a little bit more of the vintage photo on there and spray some water on it. I don't want to get it too dark. Although this may seem kind of, I don't know, weird, but it's fun. You know, it's kind of fun to do it. Like I said, some of this is going to be a little bit too dark, but gotta be careful so you don't rip your paper because it gets kind of wet here. Okay, now let's see if I can just pick up a little bit off the plate here. Oh yeah, I got a little bit more than what I wanted, but okay, so there you go. I want to just try and cover up some of this white that's in there. And if I get a little ink on the back of this, I don't really care. So I got a little bit on my mat here. I'll add some water to that. Okay. And then this kind of puts some wrinkles. Now I tore that page a little bit. Well, when it dries, it's grungy, right? So I'm going to put that one down there. Let's try another one. I want to try this weathered wood again, but I don't want as much because I don't want it as dark as what it had been. So let's try just putting a little bit on there and see if I can get it to come out, but not so dark. Now this is taking off some of the red. Also, take this stencil, if I can find it. Okay. I'm trying to decide if I want to put paint on first and then the stencil, or put paint in the stencil. I don't know. I'm going to put, this is just a little bit of acrylic paint that is, I'm not even exactly, some kind of buff kind of color, I don't know, but so all I'm going to do here is just put some paint down. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is put this down. on some of these other ones that got a little dark, I'm going to take, and I don't have a big enough desk, but I want to roll my brayer on here because it's got some of that paint on it to make some of these spots be a little lighter. I know you can't see what I'm doing because I don't have a big enough table. I'm going to try that same one and see if I can pick up any of the stencil. So we'll see. This could be a fail. Yeah, it didn't do a whole lot. Probably because it dried before I had a chance to get it. Let's take this stencil out. Now we have this on here, and I'm trying to think if I try and pick that up with something that's a little lighter. I mean, a little lighter, a little darker, I don't know. Let's see, this has got, like I said, I don't get a chance to play a whole lot with jelly plating, so I'm just going to try and put a very thin coat of this green on there. And see if it will pick up any of this. It's going to dry pretty quickly, so I need to get it on there. Let's see. Really sticky, so I hope I'm not leaving my paper on the plate, which is what I might be doing. And if that's the case, I'm going to have a major problem here. Yeah, this did not give me a whole lot other than just the green. Okay, so it didn't really do anything there, but you know what? That could be fine as like just a journaling page. So I think what I'm going to do now is just take a stencil maybe and just try and just add some. I'm going to use some walnut stain here. See if that will. All it seems to be doing really is just getting it on the stencil and not really on the paper. Stuff is all experimental. You know, never know what you're going to get. So let's lift that up and see. Well, you know, it gave me something anyway. I wonder what would happen if I sprayed some more water on there and just activated the ink that's already on there. That would maybe, oh, that worked. And then I got a little squidgy spot there. Okay, let's try this again. Not gonna give me something. Yeah, it did. So well, gives me something anyway on there. Let's try. Okay, well, that did something anyway. Okay, use some more of the scattered straw here. Put some water on that. Oh, forgot I had paint on here. Oh well. I didn't wipe it off, but you know what? That's okay. It's taking away the white spots. Okay. Need just a little bit more. Okay, so there's that one. I'm going to leave that way because I think it's light enough that you could write on it. I'm just going to put a little bit of water on there and see what comes off of there, if anything. Well, it's going to give me a little bit anyway. So, okay, now I think I want some of this red. And then okay, this is alcohol ink, so I'm going to spray it a little bit with alcohol. Just kind of move it around a little bit. And see what I get. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now I'm going to try something else here. I got these little plastic cups that were tops off of something. I'm not exactly sure what, but let's I'll put this on. And then I'm going to take the other red, which I have, which is a alcohol ink that's kind of a, and I'm just gonna put that around the edges. Spray a little alcohol on there. And okay. Okay, now I'm going to let this dry a little bit. Now I'm going to try and take and put just a little bit of this buff color. Come on. I don't want too much on there, so I think that's what happens with a lot of people in gel printing with paint, is they end up putting too much on there. Me, I probably am not putting enough on there. That's okay. All right. Let's see what happens when I do this. I'm just gonna do this on there. Make sure I have a good adhesion, and then let's see what happens. Hopefully don't tear off the paper. Ooh. There, that looks pretty nice. Not bad. So there we go. So now just to finish up the edges, well, you can kind of see where the pages, you know, went on the gel plate, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll just there. So there's another one. Again, that's light enough that you could probably write on it. I'm going to put a little bit of this blue on. And put that down. Okay, that got me a little bit of blue there. And it picked up a little bit more of the vintage photo that I had on there. I'm going to just take a little bit of the red. And since that's alcohol ink, I'm going to spray it with some alcohol. And let's Let's see if any of that will come off. Yep, there we go. I'm going to take a little bit of scorched timber. I don't want to do too much because it's pretty dark. Okay. Okay. Trying to decide if I want the whole thing on there or not. Oh, what the heck. Okay, let's see what happened. That's a little darker, but not too bad. Now, I think what I'm going to do is take something fairly light. Let's take the scattered straw again. And I'm just going to roll this on top of it. Okay. Okay. What? Need a little bit more. Okay, let's just do a little bit of bundled sage. What the heck? We're just going to add all kinds of colors. I'd like to get a little bit more in the middle there. Okay. Okay, well, that's the way that one's going to be. A little bit of distress oxide. That would be the vintage photo. See how much I can get on there. That's not too bad. And I have a little bit more on my roller here, so I'll just roll it out. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this buff here again. And I'm not real concerned if I don't have it on there beautifully. There we go. Let's see what happens here. Whoa. There we go. And now I got a little bit of extra on my brayer, so I will try and brayer that off a little bit and see if I can get some of this up. Yeah, it's a little bit. There. And let's do Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now is just add in black soot. This is brown, this is black. I can't tell which one's which here. Huh, okay. There's that. That one comes up a little bit. And oh, let's see here. This didn't do much of anything, but let's see. Okay. Seems to work better if I get it wet. It works better at getting all the little tiny lines in there. Well, not really. Oh well. So we're gonna put this one down here. Well, it showed up a little bit anyway. That one worked pretty good. Okay. What else do I want on here? I think I might want that number there. Yep, that works. Let's see, what are... Let's see, well, that's something anyway. Okay. Well, there you go. I wish I had something else that had a number on it, but I don't. So, let's see. What does that say? Oh, it says we took it. So I got one blank spot right there. What should I do with that? Hmm. There we go. Good enough. All right, guys. Well, this is what I have accomplished with some of my pages that I'm going to put in there. So hopefully that will work. I hope that you enjoyed what I did today. I certainly did. I really enjoy jelly printing, even though I'm, not all that great at it, but I think it works really nice to create grunge anyway. So I might do some grunging on some tags that I have too, because that would be really nice to do. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and a like. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. We'd love to have you. I also would like to have some comments. Let me know, how I'm doing and what you think. Hopefully I stayed in frame this time. I don't know. I have such a terrible problem with that. Anyway, thanks for putting up with me, and we will talk to you later. Bye.